White Labs, and here we are with another episode for you guys. And today we have award-winning CEO, entrepreneur, and a technologist with us, Dr. Jacqueline Hudson Parsons. How are you, ma'am?
I am so good today. How about yourself?
I'm really good, and you smile really beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
All right. So I really wanted you to, we know that what you are, I just introduced you, but just a short background of yours, if you can share it so that our viewers know about you.
Absolutely. Well, I am a CEO, obviously, as you've mentioned. I'm also what I like to call a serial entrepreneur because I open many businesses and own many businesses. And they're all in industries that I love. So basically technology, space technology, to fashion and beauty technology, and also just cosmetic brands that we've opened up, as well as a modeling agency. So we have quite a lot of the different portfolio of companies. And then, obviously, as you mentioned, I am a technologist. So I do and have created many technologies, both for the fashion and beauty industry, but also for, we're going into space and quantum tech now, which is very different.
So since you mentioned space technology and you're into fashion also, and fashion also means clothing. So I have this idea, I'm not sure if I'm right, but once someone told me, a physicist who was a really good friend of mine, that, what material we need to build a spaceship which can go really far and which will not tamper the design, it will not break, it's cloth. So is it the long vision of yours, using your brand cloth to make your spaceship and put it on another planet?
Goodness. Yeah, I'm probably going to leave that. That would be quite funny, wouldn't it? Like a plaid, spaceship that looks like with tartan on it. That would be hilarious. But, I'm sure, as we develop these things, we're going to leave that to the engineers and the designers and the experts. But yeah, it's funny we talk about that because, when you ask yourself, okay, what is the next step of the future for, fashion or beauty and so forth? Everything we're sort of developing on the space level is a bit more for defense and more sort of production level, in the sense of its usability and functionality. I think is usually very important. I don't think we know enough about space yet to kind of have a lot of fashion. But we will one day, for sure.
Yeah, sure. And okay, I'll tell you that you have an interesting background, no doubt about that.
Yes.
But it was like you were into fashion, and then you're into technology, space technology, and you came to cosmetics, right?
Yeah. Yes, I've always been in cosmetics. I've always loved cosmetics. So that's my first love, for sure, when it comes to anything that I've done as an entrepreneur.
So how what inspired you? Of course you love it, but
I do love it.
Since I know you are a hardcore entrepreneur, so it's not just love. There should be some opportunity or something that you saw. So how you got inspired? This is the right time. Now we got to do it.
I love cosmetics, and so kind of venturing into our cosmetic company, IB Cosmetics. So we did something very clever, funny enough, because at the time we were developing a technology called Liquid Beauty AI. And Liquid Beauty AI is basically an augmented reality, virtual reality, smart mirror system that people can try on makeup without trying on the makeup for real. Basically, it's, putting it implanted onto your face. So it's very cool technology. So that really was developed during the COVID era, what we've experienced over the last couple of years, because people couldn't try on makeup because of the obviously infection that was going around with COVID-19. So we came up with that technology. And then at the same time, we said, well, we need a cosmetic line to go with this. So we invented a cosmetic line. We produced it and developed it. It was called Intelligence Beauty Cosmetics. And so the long name kind of has a history because we put AI technology with cosmetics. So that's why it's called Intelligence Beauté, because it's the intelligence behind the makeup. So that is kind of a very clever way that we sort of branded and marketed this cosmetic line, but we call it IB Cosmetics for short. And yeah, I mean, if you want to look at my history, basically in my life, like 25 years ago, I started as a fashion model and, you know, sort of worked my way up in the ranks in media, and then obviously in the corporate world as well, and ended up successfully working with a company called Mode Media. And then eventually I worked for Tom Ford, so Mr. Tom Ford. And I actually was one of the purveyors here on the West Coast that worked with his cosmetic line.
Amazing.
So, yeah, so that's really what inspired me to open my own cosmetic line. This brand, I love Giorgio Armani, I love Tom Ford, you know, I love Dior, also Chanel. They're all fabulous. So those are very luxury, very luxury-ended brands that we wanted to recreate a very luxurious feeling skincare and cosmetic line, and that is exactly what IB Cosmetics has fulfilled.
Amazing. So it's specifically skincare based, right? Awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Skincare and cosmetics is both. So we have the makeup and we have the skincare line, and most luxury brands have a skincare line as well as a cosmetic line. They sort of synergistically go together. You need both to have a successful cosmetic line.
So you started as a model, then you were working in advertising, you were with fashion industry, and now you have your own fashion business that is ecom, right?
Yes,
you run ecom. And well, people nowadays, they think ecom is easy. Isn't like we have Amazon, Etsy, everything. People think it's easy to just sell, just get stock with you, have some inventory, just do the listing and just start selling. But since I'm also working in the same industry, I manage a lot of projects which are SEO based, which are SME based. I understand it's not easy. It's not peanuts.
No, it's not. I mean, I always like to say this, and we're both entrepreneurs, so we understand that synergy, that energy that goes behind being a business owner. Being a business owner or an entrepreneur or running an e-commerce business, let's say, for instance, isn't for everybody. Okay, so it's not easy. You can't just get on the bandwagon and think, oh, I'm going to run an e-commerce business and it's going to be really simple. It's not simple. There's a lot of work that goes into any business, and e-commerce is a little different, as we both know, because you have to be like digitally trained and you have to understand digital marketing, because that's really the circumference of what is going to drag in the sales or bring in the sales, you might say. So, you know, you have to know branding, you have to know a high level of marketing, you have to know a high level of synergy to attract a consumer on, let's say, social media platforms, to Google ads, to, you know, PPP ads. So these are all things that sort of add into the element of a successful e-commerce business. And then obviously you have to understand how to manage and run the online store, which again is completely different. So we have teams that really help us sufficiently with that. And we are successfully, funny enough, opening a flagship store in the Asian market, which is going to be huge, where we're going to have almost like 600 million consumers that's going to be exposed to our cosmetic brand, and also our mirrors, our Liquid Beauty AI mirrors. So it's going to be incredible when that happens. So we're really going global with our own brand. So it's about partnerships, it's about understanding entrepreneurship. And like I said, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. If you can be the most educated, successful person and only be good at working at a company, you know what I mean? It's not for everybody to be a risk taker and want to be an entrepreneur. You have to be a really high risk taker in a very successful and calculated way to be successful in this sort of business.
It does. And the technology now, it's changing like we are talking and it's changing. It's like that. You have to be updated.
Yeah.
So apart from this, there's something interesting coming in my mind. We are talking about products. We are talking about cosmetics. So what really makes you different, like your cosmetic products from your competitors? What is it?
Well, I think what makes us different is we went with a very luxurious experience with our brand. So that is what immediately differentiates us from the market. Because if you look at the market, you go, okay, you have your average product, your medium product, and then your high level product. So we went to high level. We went, okay, let's just go all the way to the top and create a very luxurious brand. That's what separated us immediately from our competitors. So now we're competing, let's say, for instance, with Tom Ford, with Giorgio Armani, with those big brands, because those are designer brands. And, within the markets that we are going to be successful in, and we are successful in, since we're opening up flagship stores in Asia, is they covet luxury products from North America. That is really big for them. So that has really differentiated us almost entirely within the market immediately. So we're not really competing with the North American market. We're really competing in the Asian markets. And that's where we're seeing a big success for us because, again, they love luxury and they love anything that's luxurious out of North America. So it's a win-win for us. that's what we've done different.
That's true. That's true. I can take that. And okay, you have the best products. I can understand that. You have the top-notch quality that you're maintaining. You have the top-notch clients with you, to whom you're giving your products. They're buying. But how are you driving your potential customer to your website? That's my question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another good question. So again, earlier in our conversation, we talked about digital marketing. Now, I'm sort of an expert in digital marketing. I've done it for many, many years. And I love to hire really confident and talented teams that can actually help support the store and understand those principles, because that's really what will drive sales to your store. Is, again, we talked about, Google ads to really successful social media platforms that will drive loyalty to the brand. And that's what today's world is bringing, especially with e-commerce. E-commerce is all about, what's your online presence? What's your digital footprint? Where are you really shining when it comes to that? And so for instance, let's say you have a great Instagram page and you're doing a ton of marketing on Instagram, you've got a great Instagram, level of followers, and then they, in return, will bring loyalty to your brand. So it's all about bringing brand awareness, loyalty to the brand, and then obviously taking the risk to go abroad. So, for us, it's really about, like, what we've done, we partnered with JD.com out of Asia, and we are working very synergistically with them to open a flagship store in Paris, a flagship store for the European market, basically, and then a flagship store in the Asian market. So again, all online, and then we're going to go to brick and mortar. But again, it's all about the geographical region and who covets that sort of brand and that sort of product. So that's really, I think, the synergies that you need to look for. And if you are starting out, I would start very close in your geographical region. Let's just say you're West Coast based. I would just go up and down the West Coast with your target marketing when it comes to your advertising, and just sort of build your brand out that way. But there really is no right or wrong way to build an e-commerce business. It really is sort of, how much do you want to expand and how much do you want to, understand the digital arena? And I think that's, those two things really kind of have to be understood by the entrepreneur and be able to be successful in this sort of hemisphere of career or this hemisphere of business. So, and then you have to have a love for the product itself. There's production to think about. There's, factories to think about with, developing the product, making sure, ensuring the packaging is excellent. Everything has to be thought about. Operations have to be thought about. So it's not just like drop shipping product. It is and it isn't. But, some people have a different level of when you just, put, drop shipping products on their e-commerce site, and they work on that circumference with their, their store online, but that's not the way we do it. So yeah, it's a combination of things that really make it successful for us, and it's trial and error as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I must say your answer was diplomatic. I liked it. Only the person, only the person who's intelligent enough to understand those things. Like it's like this. You're asking Poe's father. You have you seen Kung Fu Panda?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I'm saying, have you seen Kung Fu Panda?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
I love that.
and he's always asking his father, "What's the secret ingredient? What's the secret ingredient?" And
Yes.
so this time I'm Poe. I'm asking you, "What's the secret ingredient?" And that was the diplomatic answer. It's highly intellect.
Oh, thank you.
So, okay, what I know about your products, you have limited products. Like this is very good quality, luxurious. It's not consumer brand. Like you're selling everything. You're selling face packs, face masks, like in general with 10 types of varieties, so that you're covering everyone. You have a niche market, right? So there's this limited products, but in those products also, which one is the best selling right now?
Oh, for sure. I mean, lipsticks are always bestsellers. Lipsticks,
Oh, I love
mascaras.
lipsticks.
Yeah, woman, it doesn't matter who you are in the world. If you love lipstick, a woman will always wear lipstick, for a job interview, to go to a wedding, to go out on a date. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, just to look good, just slap on some lipstick and you feel good, So yeah. I would say definitely our lipsticks and mascaras are our best sellers, because I think, again, it's affordable, it's easy to use, and you can go ahead and, like I said, it doesn't matter what you're doing, a woman will always put lipstick on. So and we are, across the boards, our brand is sold for men and women. So our skincare line is also very, very popular. Our mango cream face cream is really super popular. So it's very, very elegant and sophisticated, and it's such a wonderful texture to the skincare line as well. So I believe between the synergy of those two, you sort of have a successful outcome with our brand and using it. So yeah, definitely the lipstick and the face cream for sure.
Oh, I love lipstick. I use my mother's lipstick. No, seriously, when I go to the stage, I do theater sometimes. So when
wonderful. I love hearing that.
when we are short of actors, I have to be that guy who is not a guy, who is a woman.
Okay, well, there you go.
I really need makeup at that time. So my savior is my mom at that time. I have done it a lot of times. I've done it like hundreds of times. Now I love lipstick.
Okay, well, we've got lots of lipstick to choose from.
Sorry?
I said we have lots of lipstick in our brand to choose from.
I'll surely look at, and I'll buy some for myself.
There you go.
Not for my mom. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, you're a busy person. We all know that. Yes. At least by this interview, if someone cannot figure out, they're like gone case. You are busy. I can totally say that. But how do you manage everything? How do you spin everything smoothly, like a newborn? I mean, I shouldn't do it. I have a lot of beard, so, but still, like a newborn.
Yes.
Smooth. You know the song, "Smooth like a newborn."
How do I manage all this entrepreneurship and businesses? It's funny, you just do. And it's like the age-old adjective of Nike, just do it. It really is. That's really what it comes down to. I think it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of principality of knowing what you're doing, having a grander vision, a vision bigger than yourself, and then having great strategy and executing that strategy with actionable steps. Because if you don't take action, and that could be for anything in your life, you don't take action, you'll never go anywhere. But how does one manage, let's say, a portfolio of 12 companies? Well, it's no different than any other large company or CEO that manages, like say Elon Musk, he has a portfolio of companies, he manages them. You know, we have partners and other professionals that help us manage our portfolio of companies. But for me, the internal work that has to get done as a CEO, yeah, I just never sleep. That's really what it comes down to. I never sleep. I'm literally like everybody else in the business. If you're not up at 4 a.m. in the morning or 5 a.m. in the morning, because you think about businesses, especially in America or abroad, it's East Coast, West Coast, right? So they're 3 hours ahead. So they're already doing business and conducting business on the East Coast. So if you're West Coast based, you better be up early to start doing business. And I think that's really critical, is to understand the different markets. And you just got to be dedicated. And I think for me, I'm just a really hard worker, and I always have been my whole life. So I love working hard. I love seeing results. I really do. And so for me, it's a pleasure to work as hard as I do. Do I go into burnout? Yes, of course I do. I'm a human being. I burn out. I need time out. And so I do take time out. I've got better at it, because I used to work around the clock. But it's not an easy feat. A lot of people can't manage multiple projects all at once, or multiple companies all at once. But, you know, I can in my way, and I'm sure there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that can do it too. You can do it. You just have to be dedicated to doing it.
Well, that's true. And what I understood while talking to you is that you have been in business. I'm sorry, not business, businesses. You have been in a lot of businesses, and when you're in a lot of businesses, you know what to do. Because, I mean, a person should know the weakness and the strength both of own, right? So what I understand is, now you know your weaknesses and your strength. Where you have strength, where you have interest, you do it. Where you don't have interest or strength, you hire them. And in the CV you write, if you can work for 30 hours a day, you're hired. Because you also work 30 hours a day.
No, you are so right. So we're not like, you know, slave drivers. I'm not a slave driver.
Just kidding.
No, I know you're kidding. I love
it's 24. It's 25 hours. I know it's not 30.
24 hours a day.
No, I'm saying it's 25 hours, not 30. I'm just kidding. It was not 30. It's just a joke. Let's get back. Let me collect myself. You come here. Okay, I'm here. I'm back. So, well, I mean, it is amazing. I really love this podcast. But before we end this episode of ours today, do you have any message for the entrepreneurs, for the young entrepreneurs, for the budding entrepreneurs, for the old entrepreneurs? Do you have any other entrepreneurs for me that I can say?
Absolutely. I would say if it's if you're an entrepreneur and you have, just follow that passion. Absolutely follow it. You only have this life. Make it something worthwhile for yourself. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to have the discipline and the dedication to realize that success is not overnight. It takes years, literally years, to become successful. People think, oh, a success story is, oh, yes, I do this, I'll be successful in a couple of months, maybe a year. No, it doesn't quite happen like that. It's a build-up of character. It's a build-up of strength. Also, you have to understand your resources, understand your business you want to walk into. I always highly recommend working for the company or a company that is in the line of business that you want to open. So for me, I've worked, every business I've ever opened, I have experience in. I have already worked for a company in, like, say, media or in fashion or in beauty. I understand it. So that's why I entered it myself, because I was confident enough to do that. So yeah, be confident, go out there, live your dream, but realize that there's a realism that goes behind it too. And the reality is, it is a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. And if you're willing to do that, you'll see a lot of successful results.
So if I summarize it in 3 terms, is it discipline, explore, and never give up?
There you go. That's perfect. I love it. There you go. I think that's perfectly said. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it was really amazing talking to you, to have you here on the podcast today. I wish you luck with your business, life, health, and I hope we'll be in touch for a very long time.
Absolutely. I've so enjoyed talking with you today, Ethan. It was such a pleasure. And, I'm always here at your disposal anytime. We can always have another conversation again and enjoy talking about business and life and, all of those good things. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I'll take that lipstick sometime very soon.
Yes,
Goodbye.
please do.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.